Up for the beef and meat, indeed.
Pooh Bear versus the Ghost in this one, meat boy, and kind of an interesting matchup. We got AJ Fletcher, fresh off a nice second round finish over Themba Garimbo most recently, taking on Bryan Battle, aka Pooh Bear, who has been on a nice little run. Right, he's won 4 of his last 5. His only loss was when he went the distance, but did get smoked by Renat Fakhretdinov. But Renat is one of the goats of the division, and there's no real shame in that loss. And every other win for Pooh Bear has been pretty dominant, right? Takashi Sato, early and off in 44 seconds. Gabe Green most recently, earlier and off in 14 seconds. And Bryan Battle's going out there and really demonstrating a lot of improvements from fight to fight. And that's kind of an encouraging thing because we know this dude is a solid, well-rounded athlete. But for him to be putting it all together and really starting to peak, I think could be a scary sight for a lot of welterweights. But he's taking on the Ghost, who we know his game plan, right? He's going in there, he's trying to blast W, take you down, use his wrestling skills, and really just make the fight pretty ugly. And I sort of liken it to our failed meatlock from last week when Padilla got absolutely smoked by Kyle Nelson, the Monster, and the Monster just pressured him, got some takedowns when he needed to, kept the fight ugly, and by the end of it, he was the victor. So I see a world where AJ is maybe able to do the same thing against Bryan Battle, but Battle is going to be way taller, going to have a solid 10-inch reach advantage, so as long as he can stiff-arm the little midget wrestler, then I think he should have some success. But what are your thoughts on this one, meat boy? Do you like Pooh Bear as around a 2-1 favorite, or do you see some ghost-like value for AJ Fletcher?
You know, there might be some ghost-like value for Mr. Mini-Me over there, but man, I'm really a big fan of Pooh Bear. You know, I think he's just been showing consistent improvement. He's a little more grizzled, a little more wiser with that age, 29 in his prime, while the other guy's still learning, growing. He could get absolutely ragdolled and just smothered, but Pooh Bear's, go-to is grappling, but he's been striking a lot lately, so I think he's really starting to edge his way into being a complete mixed martial artist. So I think wherever this goes, he's gonna get the better end. I think the odds makers have it right. I think a finish is the most outcome. I think submission would be a long shot since AJ is a grappler himself, but that could be a juicy take. But yeah, I like finish. I like it early, and I think it'll be dominant from beginning to end for Bryan Battle.
Yeah, good stuff. You touched on AJ Fletcher's jiu-jitsu. This guy does have some solid submissions. Wesley Gordon got smoked, Ariel Juarez, and again, his most recent win against Themba Garimbo was by that gnarly guillotine. So perhaps he does have something to work with down there. But maybe if Bryan Battle wanted to make a statement and really dominate in all aspects and then beat the kid at his own game, that would be another statement from Bryan Battle, and wouldn't really surprise me because this dude has been making statements recently. But if you look at Tapology, 92% pretty bullish on Bryan Battle, and there's a lot of brown for that KO, which to me I guess was a little bit surprising just because Fletcher has historically been so durable, right? No one's been able to finish him thus far, but do you see some value at Battle KO? Do you think that maybe Bryan's the first one to put AJ out with strikes?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he's got the strength and the speed and all that to really get those shots in that he needs to get the finish. It's just a matter if he does it early or if he does it later. I think he'll have the better gas tank too. One thing that I would argue is Pooh Bear's gas tank is pretty darn good and underrated in my opinion. It's pretty crazy how much. I mean, that's how he won the Ultimate Fighter. He fought a guy that was technically way better, way more skilled, way stronger, but he was just so tough and just had a really good gas tank, and he outgrind his opponent. So either way, wherever this goes, I think he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, and we saw even in that fight against Trayshawn Gore, where Trayshawn Gore really had nothing to offer in that second and third round, and Battle was barely even breathing. It seemed like he could push that pace for much longer than 15 minutes, and I think he's going to need that cardio against AJ Fletcher, who is another guy who can seemingly go for days. So in this one, me boy, I'm with you. I'm going to take Bryan Battle. I'm taking him by decision, but I'm going to not keep him in any of my parlays because I do think Fletcher has some dog value, and I don't know, this could be a closer than anticipated fight where AJ makes this kind of ugly and as a result could steal some rounds. So much like Kyle Nelson did last week, I think AJ has some life, but I do think that Battle should get this done. The 10-inch reach should be huge, and hopefully if he can keep this thing on the feet, then he'll be able to really pick away and maybe even catch the little guy with a gnarly head kick. So we'll see what happens, but I'm with you taking Battle by decision. Any last thoughts?
No, that's it. Throw in the comments if you taking a Y, you taking Pooh Bear, or you taking the Ghost.